So we are going to start by creating a controller that is going to control our profile view. So let's close this welcome section. I'm going to select my scene delegate, Command N, choose a Cocoa Touch class, click next, and the subclass of this one is going to be UI Table View Controller. And the name is going to be Profile Table View Controller, language Swift. We don't need an XIB file because we are using a storyboard. The XIB file, it just creates a separate view. We're going to use these ones in our course, so you will see how it works. So we have created this profile view, which is a subclass of table view. Now we need to tell our storyboard, and we go here, select our profile view here. If you go to this class inspector, you can see there is no class controlling this. Now we are going to tell it that the class controlling this is the profile table view controller. Hit enter, and since this is a table view controller, it automatically sets the table view delegate and data source, so we don't have to select them. And it also automatically connects the table view to the code, because by default all the table view controllers have this variable table view access to it. So coming to our file here, I'm just going to do some cleanup here so we have space to work. Number of sections, we have 4 sections, so we are going to return number 4. Remember, there are no dynamic things here, everything is static and it will be always shown this way. And then if you choose this number of sections in the row, and number of sections is actually going to depend which number of rows is going to depend which section we have selected. So let's just delete this, and let's just comment this out. And also delete everything here, all this ready code that were made for us. And let's run our application. So if this doesn't crash, because we haven't set the number of items in section, we are going to be good to go. All right, so this doesn't crash, which is good news. Let's also comment this out, run. And this also doesn't crash. So I'm going to delete all this and keep our view did load only. So we have access to our table view because this is a table view controller, and we don't have number of rows or number of sections because everything is static and we have set this design already. So let's do the connections. I'm going to put a mark on the top and say IP outlets. And let's open our assistant editor, which is, where is it now? It's here. I think we need to do it through our main storyboard. Go down here, and from here we open the assistant editor. Right, so it's a little bit crowded on my small 13-inch screen. I'm going to try to make some space. So let's start from the top. We are going to have this profile picture. So this is profile picture. Let's call this actually avatar image view. Yes, and then we have this background. remember this gray thing, we need to have an outlet so we can make the corners round. So this is gonna be a profile, cell background view, hit enter. We have set this. Now we have this name and age label. So we call this name age label. Then we have country and city label. Let's call this start from the city. Country label. Then we have these buttons. We are going to set the outlets for the buttons. I'm sorry, for the buttons we're going to set actions, not outlets. So I can scroll down because we are not going to use these. And then we're going to get this text view. We're not setting connecting the title here because we are connecting the things that we are going to only edit. These are static, never gonna change, so we're not going to connect them. This one is about me text field. Text view. Then if we scroll more down, we have these text fields. So let's just make some more space. So we start from our job. So we say job text field. And we have education text field. We have gender. City text field. I have a typo here on gender. So if you happen to have this, you can right click and go to refactor and rename. And this will rename it everywhere. Otherwise, in order to get it correct, you had to delete this line. Then you had to go to your text field here, go to the connections, and then disconnect one of the connections that you have created. Otherwise, you are going to have two connections to the UI, from UI to the code. And once you run the application, you will have only one here because you forget to disconnect one of the connections, and it will throw you an error and crash the application. So always when you are renaming, right click, refactor and rename, or if you are doing it manually, delete it from everywhere. So we have this city. Now we do the country. Height. And finally looking for okay. So we did all the connections for our outlets, and now let's put a mark here, call this view life cycle, and let's do this mark IB actions and do the connections for our buttons. So the first one is the settings. So it says settings button pressed. Then we have this camera. So we say camera button pressed. And then we have this edit button. Okay, all the connections are done. And let's close this assistant editor, open our panel, go to profile view, and I'm going to make it full screen. So get rid of these empty lines. Right, and let's make some space here. Very good, everything is nice and tidy. Let's jump back to our main storyboard, and now we are going to fix the colors. So going to this profile background view, and this one is gonna be always white. So we are going to change that. Okay, and the content view, we want to change the color of content view, because once we are going to make it around edges, if they have same background color, you will not see the difference. While here you can see the background, we have kind of gray, and then this area white. So let's select the content, and the background of the content we are going to change from the white color as it has now the default. Let's put this some kind of custom color, and let's see the easiest way to make it little bit gray. Maybe this one, the second pencil here. Let's just see how it works on the first view. So we have changed not the profile background, but the content views background, okay? And going back to our profile view, now we can set this to be to have some round edges, and then we can test how the backgrounds match